and welcome to another episode of Rift News, the show you are probably watching because you wanna see if I still have feet. In case it is not obvious, I got sick. Again. But that won't stop me from covering the news, especially since this time we have a lot to talk about. So without further ado, let's get into it. As always, let's start with what is happening in League of Legends. Right now, if you log into the game, you may find all the Nightbringers and Dawnbringers, but the Worlds 2021 event has started as well. This allows you to buy the event pass, or the other version of it, which is exactly the same thing, but this one has Kayn. And of course, all the rewards we talked about last time are there as well. But note that Kayn has a new border, which is both bringing Dawn and Night. Even Yone doesn't have that, and he has blades from both sides. Anyway, even though last time we talked about all the different chroma skins the new Jarvan Worlds 2021 skin will get, there is one more chroma which you will be able to get for 300 tokens. But besides all of that stuff, of course everyone knows that Vex is live as well. Her skin is fine, her lore is being worked on, but her theme is absolutely awesome. It has the mysterious, quirky, orderly magic in the background, but every now and then it transitions into Mordekaiser's heavy metal. And I love that. Great job, Riot's music production, but you have always done a great job. But there is one more thing that's currently live that you might be confused about. If you go to the tokens, as always, there are some chroma skins which you are able to buy right now, but then right there at the bottom, there are some chroma skins which are hidden, so you may be asking, what are those? Well, for that, let's jump into PvE. And here we are arriving at Tales from the Rift 2021, which is the modern, less cool name for the Halloween skins. First of all, there is Bewitching Fiora, which doesn't look like a witch, let alone be. Really, her color scheme reminds me of the arcade skins. Probably the spookiest thing about this skin is the pumpkin in the ultimate. Then there is Bewitching Poppy, who has a weapon that is not quite a hammer and not quite a broom. Still, the theme is pretty cool. And the ground effects? Then there is Bewitching Syndra, which is a nice skin, the spell effects are cool, but by far the best feature is that the pumpkins are animated. Next up there is Bewitching Yuumi, which is by far the best one because it actually goes back to the classic Halloween skins. I have nothing to add, everything about this skin is awesome. But then there is Bewitching Nami. Excuse me. Ah! What is that? Can anyone tell me why? Why is she a human again? We've been there, we've done that. Every single one of her other skins is unique. There is a robot, a spirit, a monster, a human, so why human again? These Halloween skins are supposed to be turning the champions into these cartoony villains, witches and wizards, monsters with pumpkin heads and furry costumes. Why did they not turn her into the green-skinned witch that everyone wanted? Nami is not a human, that's the point of her character. You can just turn her skin a little bit more green and be perfectly done with it. This just really doesn't fit, and you know how? This just really doesn't fit, and you know how I know it? If I cover up the bottom half, you will have no idea what champion it is. Can we have an actual witch, please? And of course, lastly, we can't forget the prestige skin, which is Prestige Morgana, and she is, say it with me, Champagne Pink. Out of all the other chroma skins, I believe that Fiora is the loser. Her details on her skin are way too small, and so it is really hard to make out the colors. But the winner is absolutely Yuumi. Her chroma skins actually change her face. Now, besides all the different skins, there are also new icons for your ranked efforts, also a new icon for the Worlds Clash, and a new icon for just celebrating Worlds. But then there is also a new merch icon for the Dragonmancer Lee Sin, so this will become a figure. And lastly in the files there is a new Kai'Sa emote. Another one. But that's pretty much it for League, so now let's head into the lands of TFT. In TFT, we are moving towards science. We got a new video from Riot explaining how things are going, and there they just casually dropped where the next set of TFT will go. We will go towards steampunk and science, which absolutely makes sense because it will be themed around Arcane. And the video also casually showed up a new updated model for Caitlyn. Yes, Caitlyn is getting a visual update which will most likely be on the same level as Singed. Her gameplay will not change, but hey, her model will be cool.
Then there are two more things which I totally forgot to mention. First of all, following the success of Hyperroll, Riot will be trying out another new mode for TFT. This one will be a 2v2v2v2. You'll be able to team up with a friend, climb together, have two separate boards, one shared health pool, and you will choose special buffs for your teammates' board. The other new thing is a new kind of little legends. Unlike the special new creatures which we are getting from the eggs, Riot will be also adding in a chibified version of the champions we know and love. Right now, we know that they will be adding in Jinx and Misfortune. But know that they won't show up during ARAM. That's because they look just like the champions. So Riot would hate to confuse people. There are also the other extra chibified champions who appeared in the Chinese version of TFT. Just know that they are not 100% confirmed for TFT. And also, by the time this video released, we also got some data-mined pictures of the maps which you will be able to get through the pass, and also the new arcane-themed carousel for the new set.
Besides this, in the files, Surrendered20 also found new icons for the TFT items, such as Dragon's Claw, Hextech Gunblade, Ionic Spark, Static Shift, Titan's Resolve, and Zeke's Herald. But that is it for TFT as well, so now, very quickly, let's have a look at what is happening in Valorant! Here there is only really one thing. There are new skins based on the comic book versions of the agents that we know and love. There is also a pretty cool haircut. But that is it for Valorant as well, so now let's have a look at all the other news, of which there is a lot of them. First of all, Mateusz Tomaszkowicz, which was the lead quest designer in Witcher 3, has joined Riot Games to work on their MMO. I have to confess, out of all the RPGs, for some reason, I have never played Witcher 3. I know it's probably the best RPG in the world. I'll get to it someday. But just know that the League MMO looks a lot better now. We then got more news on AFK in League of Legends. Apparently, Riot doesn't like it. And they don't like it so much that they invented new punishments. Right now, if you keep AFKing in games, you will get higher and higher tiers of punishment. In the first 3 tiers, you will get a 15-minute delay in your queues. If you still keep AFKing after that, you will also get locked out of the queues entirely. And this is for 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, and 14 days. I have to be honest, if someone gets banned for 7 days, they come back to League, they sit through the queues, and they AFK again. Why do you give them a 14-day ban? Just ban them entirely. I know that it can be an active account, which means more money. But really, after going through that, they don't get permabanned? Anyway, at least something is happening, and so fewer AFKs should be happening. Next, of course, the Arcane trailer has also dropped, which means that it will be released on the 6th of November. Or 7th at like 4 in the morning if you are European. We made an entire video talking about it, so feel free to check it out. In short, the trailer was absolutely awesome, we saw new characters in action, my favorite characters at that, no Camille, but there was Heimerdinger. Also, a lot of reasons to talk about Purple Eyes again. Next up, a week ago, Riot also announced their new launcher. Not a new client, that's a different thing. This is a new launcher. And if you are nearing your 30s, no, don't worry, it is not as bad as it was back in the day, where every single company needed to have its own launcher, otherwise nobody would play their games. For Riot, a new launcher makes sense, because right now there is League of Legends, TFT, Legends of Runeterra, Valorant, but also Project F and the fighting game are also on the way. Having all of these games launch from a single place makes sense, because the point of a launcher is that the launcher will automatically update and install your games, so that when you then launch the game, the experience will be a lot smoother. I'm looking at you, League client, who updates every now and then in the middle of a game. And apparently the new launcher is already rolling out, but it will be available to absolutely everyone on October the 4th. But speaking of the League client, which is not the launcher, the client also got new updates. The post is called Client Cleanup. We launched the update Chromium Embedded Framework CEF. I understood we. All the words in this post may be quite a bit confusing, so instead let's have a look at the stats. Somehow Riot managed to halve the number of crashes, they also managed to cut the memory usage by half, and also the CPU usage by another quarter. Looking at the numbers alone, that seems fine. But also, from what I understand, the embedded Chromium means that the client will behave a little bit more like something like Discord. It will be much more friendly towards new plugins, which means that the entire client will load a lot faster, and also it will now actually show stuff in the game, such as permanent loading of your loot will be gone. Maybe. And also, apparently, we might also finally see the end of the game stats at the end of the game.
Super quickly, we should also mention that it was confirmed that Project L will get a dev update in November. So finally, we will learn more about the fighting game.
Now going back to Worlds, the group stage draw has already happened, and boy do I wish I knew more about esports. Like, I know the teams, but from their reaction I have no idea if they are happy or mad. So, are they happy about Rogue or not? Besides these worlds, there are also the TFT worlds, which many of you may not even know are happening on October the 1st.
I mean, by the time this video released, it already happened.
We got a video explaining how the entire system will work, and yeah, I will be excited to watch that.
I was.
Even though most people have no idea that the worlds are actually happening.
Lastly, when it comes to Worlds, by the time this video released, we got the 2021 Worlds theme. Burn It All Down is a pretty good one. In my opinion, it is sitting right there with a nice 7 out of 10. But the animations are absolutely stellar. They might be the best Riot has ever done. But funnily enough, someone on Reddit pointed out that for the last few years, the themes are following a similar pattern. You always know when the music goes down and when it goes back up, and so if you play the previous themes with this video, they actually go together really well.
And this takes us to a little bit of a drama that's been happening around League's worlds. You see, apparently pick'ems will not work for play-ins, which is fine, you know, if the system was not designed to account for play-ins, then it just doesn't work, and that's that. What is not fine is the wording used for the justification. Play-ins are happening and we don't support that fiesta. Like, I understand what they wanted to say, but that's not what they said. They basically publicly said that the play-ins are worthless, that they are a fiesta. I hope you know what a fiesta is, because the play-ins are not that. So yeah, pretty much everyone around this has been disappointed at the fact that they are downplaying the play-ins, which are really the part where unexpected teams can rise up. And it is actually one of the more exciting times of Worlds. It almost feels like they would only care about the finals. Those are the exciting moments. What's at the bottom, how it started? Not quite. I really don't think they meant any of that, it's just a really poor choice of words. But yeah, I don't like drama, so let's quickly have a look at what the user Seiyu found on Reddit. Apparently, the healing on ARAM is actually coded as one of the original minions from the alpha versions of the game. This is a common practice in video games. You usually have some kind of a trigger, but you keep that trigger hidden, invisible, and you use some of the previous assets which we have used before. If you have ever played a World of Warcraft, whenever you complete a quest that completes on its own, it's because there is an invisible rabbit that dies. That is legitimately how the game triggers a completed quest. So it makes sense why in League the invisible alpha minion would serve as the healing. So, just how old is the spaghetti code?